At Config 2025, Figma just brought in a new feature, Figma Grids. They've had auto layout for ages, which has been a great feature that's helped move dev and design closer together, which has helped designers really understand and consider things like the box model and fundamental layout design in website. And the great thing about Figma Grids is it still feels similar to auto layout, but maybe just a little bit more powerful. So if you've used auto layout before, you'll naturally run into some issues as you start trying to build more complex layouts. Like if you have 2 columns, you'll start running into some issues. And I think this is somewhere that Figma Grids can really help. So today, let's go into Figma and have a first little look and play around with grids, and let's together build an interesting bento box layout. So if we come into Figma, the way to use grids is let's click F and let's drop in a frame to start with. And as you can see here on the right hand side, it seems that everything from now on is this free form as the starting layout, which just means that if you put anything into the frame, it's the same as before. There's no auto layout detected, so you can just place it wherever. Now if we put a couple more boxes into here, and then we select the frame, we can go through some of the layouts. So we have a vertical auto layout, which you can see what that's doing there, a horizontal auto layout. With both of these, you have the wrap setting. And then the last one is this new one, which is the grids feature. Now, if we click that, you can see these boxes that are appearing, and this is using the grids feature. I don't really normally use auto layout this way. I normally use it slightly differently. So let's actually go through a more practical example of using it. So take this layout, this 5-card grid layout. This is something quite normal in website design. Maybe you have a feature section. It's kind of way that I use auto layout within sections. So before, because I want it to be on 2 rows, because having 5 across would be way too long. If I wanted to do auto layout before, if I select all of them and click Shift A, that's not quite right. That's filling them all, and it's giving me the 5 columns across. So another way I could do it is select this row and click Shift A, and then select this row and click Shift A, and hope that they've started to fill, and then select both and click Shift A, and that kind of works. But then if I want to see if it's scalable, okay, that doesn't work. So it's just a little bit janky, as I was saying before, of as you try to go further and you make these more complex layouts. This isn't even that complex of a layout. You do naturally run into issues. This is where I think grids is actually really powerful. So now instead, if I select all these, and I click Shift A to apply auto layout. But then instead, if I come over and change it from this horizontal kind of stack, I change it to a grids. You see these kind of boxes that appear here. And currently it's giving me 5 by 1. So this is kind of the new features of grids. It's quite similar. If you switch back to auto layout, you can see how it's quite similar. Before we used to have this align center, and then we'd have the gap between, and then the padding. So instead we have still the gap between and the gap below, still have the padding on the outside. So if we apply this, this applies the outside padding. But instead we have this kind of row and column selector. So in here, it's showing me what it's giving me right now. It's giving me, instead of a 5 by 1, I probably want it to be more a 3 by 2. So I'll select the 3 by 2. You'll get this little message here. This is similar to if you've ever used Webflow. Because I have items in the grids over here, it can't just delete them because it doesn't know where to re-put them straight away. But this is a good example of kind of showing you how to move things around in grids. So we have these items within here. So instead, if I just select, and I'm selecting the card, I can just drag it and you can kind of see where it's going to drop by the blue square. So instead, if I want this to move down, I can just drag it over here and drag into this bottom left one. And then I can select this mood selection card and drag this down here. So now if I go into the selector to change it, I can change it now from 5 by 2 to 3 by 2. And see, we're already sort of getting there. There's still a little bit to work out. So if we just drag this down a little bit, you can see it's just trying to work out which properties to try to use at the moment. So at the moment, these are filling, which is great, but then has a fixed height. So let's select all of them because I want this to be responsive. So let's select all of our cards and change them all to be width fill and height fill. And now we have the layout we're trying to achieve before, and we also have this gap here, which is fine. But the real issue I was running into before was the responsiveness. So now if we try to make it bigger or smaller, we can see how helpful this is. So if we wanted to make a tablet version and bring it down, or we wanted to do an extra large version and bring it up, it actually all responds responsively right now, which is such a great win. It's really cool as well because you can go for more complex layouts as well. So you see these little icons here. So instead of choosing fill, you can actually drag it into multiple boxes. So I could drag it across here to resize it. This will change it to a fixed width. So I could do half a box if I wanted to, or I can drag it into 2. If I change it to fill, it'll actually fill across the 2 boxes now. and take up 2 columns. But with this, you can make much more interesting layouts very easily. So if I take this layout and I want to make it more interesting into kind of a bento style box, let's see how I do that. So let's change this to 3 by 3 to give me a little bit more room to play. So let's take out some of our cards. You can just drag them out and then it will kind of show me what I have here. And then I can start moving stuff around. So say I want to drag this one down and make a more interesting layout. I could make this go down 2 rows. Maybe make my images a little bit bigger as well. And then we'll take our next one. You can drop it wherever you want. So if we drop this up here, we drag this across. Let's say we want this image to be way smaller up here. Maybe we'll drag this one down the bottom here and resize this. We'll resize our image. Maybe we'll make these 2 as a bit more full screen. So all I'm doing here is just dragging it into the grid, and then I'm just changing around the auto layout section within the card, because this still has its own auto layout properties. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds, because you're getting the interesting layout, but you can still keep the consistency of the auto layout and use that within your cards as well. Maybe I just want to fix these up so they're all kind of the same height to make them a bit more consistent. And you kind of just watch that with me in real time of how I very quickly made this kind of more unique bento style layout instead of just having the 3 by 2 cards. And that's great because now from here I can resize it as well if I want to. I can make it bigger or smaller. One of the other interesting things I found about playing around with the grids is that you can actually overlap shapes on top of it. So if I select this first item here and I pull it down, this will actually overlap the item underneath, which is a bit of a weird feature, but I think I found a cool use case for it. So if we pull this one up and we overlap that one, and then we pull this last card up and we overlap the top one here. It's a bit strange that you can overlap them, but one of the cool things is that because we're not changing the name of anything, if we hold Option down on our keyboard and make a copy as we drag it across, we can do some pretty interesting things with Smart Animate here. So on the second frame, if we want to make it more similar to the first one again, so let's drag this one up so it takes 2 columns and we'll reveal this. Drag our middle card down to reveal our top one, drag our last card down to reveal our top one again. And because we haven't changed the name of anything, it's really easy to now come across Click Prototype, drag a prototype noodle from your first frame to your second frame, make it on click, Smart Animate, and let's make it 400 milliseconds. And then let's pull one noodle from your second frame back to our first one so we can link it up. And now if we click our first frame and click up the top right here to present, now because we can overlap stuff easily, if we click our screen now, we can actually do these cool reveal interactions really easily with the bento box. And this is just a simple way to do it, but you can actually make much more complex interactions just using these same principles. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and you have a better idea of how to use grids and get started with it now. And while you're here, YouTube reckons that you'll like this video next. So come on, give that one a watch. Right there, just click there.